Hi, it's Heather with Cafe Mom, and welcome to day 21 of 31 Days of Life in the StepMom Trenches. Today we're talking about mother-in-laws, and I'm going to start off by saying I love my mother-in-law. I will always be grateful to her. She had my husband, who I love. But as stepmoms, it is a common struggle sometimes with our mother-in-laws in regards to the ex-wife. I have heard from lots of stepmoms in my stepmom coaching. We talk a lot about mother-in-laws, and so I just want to talk to you briefly about that today, and to know that if you're having some struggles with your mother-in-law and you're like, I love her, I'm grateful for her, but she's driving me nuts, know that you are not alone in this, and I'm going to give you some tips to help you. So one thing sometimes that happens with our mother-in-laws is that they really, really mean well, and they can't figure out what their son's ex-wife is thinking. So for whatever reason, they think that we have the answers, and they might ask us, well, have you talked to her recently? What has she done? What has she said? Oh my gosh, why would she say that to the kids? Why wouldn't she pick up the kids? Why doesn't she go to the football games? And they ask us all these questions like we know the answers, and it can be really, really difficult. Also, sometimes they can come over to the house, or they can compare us to the ex. They can point out different things that are just a little uncomfortable. And especially, I think, too, and I've heard from a lot of stepmoms, if their husband has been left by the ex, kind of always pondering and asking those questions like, I can't believe, she left my son. He's so wonderful, and he loved her, and he was so good. I mean, why would she leave him? And you're sitting there thinking, that was 7 years ago, and I'm his wife now, and what's going on here? So mother-in-law issues sometimes they just happen. The best thing to do, and the advice that I give, is to set a boundary. And whenever boundaries have to be set in a family, it is best that they're set by the biological relative, which means it's a boundary that has to be set by your husband. And he may be uncomfortable with setting a boundary with his mom. He may have never done that before. You might want to ask him to watch this vlog, or give him the tip that I'm going to share with you. But I'm just going to give you kind of an easy prompt that I think can start a conversation that isn't going to put anybody off guard. And I'll just use my husband and I as an example. So let's say Andy has to call his mom and say, Mom, you know what? Just Heather and I are so grateful for you, and we know that you so care about the kids, and we know that you're interested in what's going on. But when you asked Heather questions about my ex, or you ask her questions about the kids, and you don't like her answers, or you kind of press her, it really makes her uncomfortable. And she knows you don't mean anything negative by it, but it really makes her uncomfortable. So I'm going to have to ask you not to ask her questions. If you really have questions about my ex, or you really have questions about the kids, I'm going to ask you to come to me. I'll answer them for you the best I can, but I'm going to ask that those questions come to me and not to her. I need to respect my wife and respect her feelings, and she just has a difficult time with that. And she also loves and treasures her relationship with you, and she doesn't want anything to ever come between that. So I hope you can understand and respect this. And I'll tell you, for those who have used that type of prompt, it has worked wonders. And let me tell you, too, it does work wonders with your relationship with your mother-in-law, because nobody wants to have a strained relationship with their mother-in-law. Everybody, we're family. We want to get along. Sometimes it's not possible, but we really work hard to make sure that it is. So I hope this was helpful. My takeaway for today is that if you're struggling with mother-in-law issues, you're not alone, and there are ways to help. And I hope these boundary setting techniques will help you. So until tomorrow, stepmom friends, stay strong and press on. Thanks.